After my husband's elder brother passed away, my husband handed over his salary card to his sister-in-law, Lily. My sister-in-law is raising the child alone. Life is very hard for her. As women, you must understand her situation. Right, understand. Of course I understand. Is just giving your salary card enough? I dismantled all the newly bought washing machine, TV, and air conditioner at home and sent them to my sister-in-law's house. I even quit my job to become a full-time nanny at my sister-in-law's place, taking care of her and her child with 3 meals a day, making sure they're completely satisfied. When my in-laws asked me for living expenses, I said, all the money has been given to my sister-in-law. She's so pitiful. How can you have the nerve to ask for money? My husband said he wanted to eat meat, and I replied, your sister-in-law is raising the child alone. The meat at home should only go to her. My daughter wanted to attend tutoring classes, but I said, your cousin has lost his father. He's so pitiful, the tutoring spot should only go to him. In your past lives, you were all great philanthropists. This time, I'm even more charitable than you. Let's see who can handle it. After my husband's elder brother passed away in a car accident, my husband gave his salary card to his sister-in-law. This time, I didn't stop him, because in my past life, the moment I expressed disagreement, he immediately lashed out at me, calling me cold-hearted and unfeeling, saying that as a woman, I couldn't understand how pitiable a widow and her orphaned child were. My in-laws also sided with him, claiming that an unvirtuous wife ruins 3 generations, and even posted about it online, leading to me being cyberbullied. Blake Liu noticed my distraction and his expression darkened. Lily Jiang, do you not want me to give my salary card to sister-in-law? I quickly waved my hands, of course not. With elder brother gone, it's so hard for sister-in-law to raise the child alone. I fully support you giving her the card. Hearing this, Blake Liu's expression softened. That's good, I thought you might object, but even if you did, I've already decided to do this. With that, Blake Liu took the card and left the house. No need to guess, he was definitely heading to his sister-in-law's place. I immediately called a few movers. Master, please help us dismantle the air conditioner, washing machine, and TV at our place and deliver them to this address. Then, I sent a message to the neighborhood's well-known gossip auntie. Come quick, there's a show to watch. The location is right downstairs at my sister-in-law's place. I deliberately had the driver take the wrong route, driving the big truck around her neighborhood honking several times to make sure everyone noticed before finally stopping downstairs. Sister-in-law, I'm here to deliver something for you. Nora Meng and Blake Liu came downstairs, looking puzzled. Lily, what are you doing? I pinched my thigh, my eyes red, and stepped forward to take Nora Meng's hand, saying, Sis-in-law, with big brother just gone, it's not easy for you to raise the child alone. Blake said he gave you his salary card, but I thought that wouldn't be enough, so I brought over the newly bought TV, air conditioner, and washing machine to replace yours. Don't worry, I'll make sure you live comfortably. No worse than when big brother was alive. At the mention of my elder brother, I wailed, oh, elder brother, you left on your own. How will sister-in-law manage with the child Tilda? Putting on a dramatic display of tears and snot, Nora Meng awkwardly tried to step back, but I pulled her firmly. Sister-in-law, don't be afraid, with me and Blake here, we will definitely take care of you. The crowd of onlookers grew larger and larger. An elder sister-in-law is like a mother. This family truly treats their sister-in-law well. I heard the man of their family passed away in a car accident, leaving behind a widow and orphans. How pitiful. I heard the younger brother even handed over his own salary card. What a kind and righteous act. There truly is kindness in this world. It's so touching. As I brought over all the household appliances, Blake Liu frowned and said, Lily Jiang, what are you up to? These are all new appliances he saved up for recently. I know he's heartbroken about giving them away. Blake, how can sister-in-law live in her newly rented place without any appliances? These are all newly replaced at home, perfect for her to use. You men are no more considerate than us women. Even if you gave sister-in-law your salary card, she wouldn't spend it on appliances. Since we have them at home, let's give them to her so she can live more comfortably. Then I put on a skeptical expression. Blake, you're not having second thoughts, are you? Blake Liu was called out and quickly waved his hands, saying, how could that be? For my sister-in-law to use, how could I possibly feel reluctant? With that, he and the master moved the appliances to his sister-in-law's house. Seeing the brand new TV, air conditioner, and washing machine, his nephew Lu Qiushu clapped his hands in delight, exclaiming, "Great, I have a new TV to watch." I patted my nephew on the head and told him, "Good nephew, if there's anything you want in the future, just tell your uncle and aunt, and we'll make sure to get it for you." "Really?" Lu Qiushu blinked his eyes, looking at his mother and then at Blake Lu. Blake Lu said affectionately, "Your aunt is right. If you need anything in the future, just tell me. You're the only child of your eldest uncle, and my money is meant to be spent on you." Nora Meng also nodded in agreement beside them. Watching the three of them as close as family, I was so angry that my nails dug into the flesh of my palm. In my past life, Blake Lu catered to every demand of Nora Meng and this nephew, but turned a blind eye to me and our daughter. Nora Meng held on to the hundreds of thousands in compensation and pension from my elder brother, while also taking Blake Lu's monthly income, spending her days shopping and getting beauty treatments. Meanwhile, I worked 3 jobs every day just to pay for our daughter's education and living expenses. This time, I won't let any of you off easy. At night, Blake Lu woke up from the heat in his sleep. "Why isn't the air conditioner on? It's so hot." "You forgot, we gave the air conditioner to your sister-in-law," I said, then brought over an electric fan. "A calm heart naturally feels cool. Just think, at least your sister-in-law and nephew are sleeping soundly now, we can tough it out for a while." Blake Lu couldn't sleep because of the heat and asked me to buy a new air conditioner tomorrow. "Oh, come on, how could I have any money? I only make 3,000 a month, and half of it's already gone on groceries this month. I still have utilities and gas bills to pay." My words left Blake Lu fuming but unable to vent, tossing and turning all night without sleep. Early the next morning, Blake Lu got up to head to the office. At least there was air conditioning to keep cool. After he left, I immediately packed up and took my daughter Xinyu to my sister-in-law's place. "Lily, what are you?" Nora Meng opened the door with a groggy morning temper. Freezing momentarily upon seeing me and Xinyu standing at the doorstep, I quickly pushed past her and stepped inside. "Sis-in-law, I'm here to enjoy some cool air at your place. It's unbearably hot outside. I really can't take it anymore." Their home was indeed refreshingly cool, with the AC set low and the door left wide open. Anyway, their utilities were all covered by Blake Lu now, so we might as well take advantage of it. "Lily, this isn't appropriate. Our home isn't very big, and having 2 kids would make it inconvenient to play. How come when you came to our place before to enjoy the air conditioning, you didn't mention that 2 kids would make it too crowded?" "Sister-in-law, it's fine. Xinyu can do her homework on her own, and I'll help with the chores and cleaning. You can just rest in your room, we won't disturb each other, it's really no problem." I threw Nora Meng's own words about coming to my place for the air conditioning right back at her, leaving her speechless and at a loss for words. I'm much more sensible than her. At least I actually do housework, while every time she comes to my house, she just pays lip service and ends up sitting on the couch playing with her phone, not lifting a finger. At lunchtime, I stopped Nora Meng, who was about to order takeout, and confidently told her I'd cook, opening the fridge. Wow, it was packed with chicken, duck, fish, and meat. Blake Lu actually thinks Nora Meng is pitiful. What nonsense. My daughter and I don't even get to eat meat every meal, yet look at how much she's got stocked up. Seeing my hesitation, Nora Meng quickly explained. "These were given by my parents. They said we've both lost weight recently because of your elder brother's situation, so they had someone bring these from our hometown." I nodded along cooperatively. Her parents sent her meat. What a tall tale. Since she got married, I've only seen her parents a handful of times, and on those rare occasions, it was always to ask her for money to spend on their son. Parents like that would fill her entire fridge with meat. I wonder if she even believes that story herself. I saw the discarded shopping bags. They were from a large supermarket nearby. I heard the annual membership fee alone costs 1,000. After clattering around the kitchen to prepare a table full of dishes, both meat and vegetable, I immediately took a photo and posted it on my social media. "Sis-in-law, with me and Blake Lu here, you won't have to suffer." Before long, Blake Lu sent me a message. "You went to sis-in-law's place," I said. Sis-in-law doesn't know how to cook, and ordering takeout every day isn't good. My nephew is at a growing age, so I decided to prepare 3 meals a day for them to ensure they eat well. "Then what about your job?" Big brother just passed away. During this special time, sis-in-law comes first. I quit my job. Once she's emotionally recovered, I'll look for work again. Blake Lou's chat box kept showing typing. But in the end, Blake Lou didn't send anything. I sneered and turned off my phone. You could hand over your entire salary card to her. Didn't you do it because you were certain I'd use my own wages to support the family? In my past life, I worked 3 jobs alone to keep this household afloat, only to collapse and die from exhaustion at one of them. Now, I'm done pushing myself. I'll quit my job too. Let's all just coast and see who gives up first. At dinner, I picked up the bowl of ribs and filled my nephew's bowl to the brim with meat. Choshu. Leave the household matters to us adults. Your only job is to eat well. Thank you, Auntie. The ribs you made are so delicious. Much better than the ones Mom takes me out to eat, Lu Choshu said carefreely. Nora Meng immediately stuffed a rib into his mouth. Just eat, even meat can't shut you up. For me, seems like he's been eating out quite a bit. Nora Meng, afraid I might overthink, quickly piled a lot of meat into her daughter Xinyue's bowl. Xinyu, you eat too. It's all free-range pork from the countryside, not worth much. My daughter hadn't eaten meat so heartily in a long time and was overjoyed. In the evening, Blake Lou said he had to work overtime at the company and would stay there overnight. I immediately turned to Nora Meng and said, Sis, our air conditioner is broken. And Blake isn't coming home tonight. Xinyu and I will stay at your place for the night. Don't worry about us. We can just sleep on the floor in the living room. I'll just make breakfast for you all tomorrow morning, so I don't have to come back again. Nora Meng couldn't even muster a refusal and stormed back to her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Soon after, Blake Lou called, I bought a new air conditioner. You and Xinyu should come home now and not disturb your sister-in-law's rest. When Nora Meng saw me out, her back teeth were clearly clenched, and she forced out a smile. It looked awful. Sister-in-law, I'll come again tomorrow, don't worry. You don't need to bother with household matters, leave all the chores to me. Nora Meng opened her mouth but couldn't utter a word, her face looking as if she had swallowed a fly. On the way back, my daughter Xinyu said happily, Mom, it's so nice at Auntie's house. We can enjoy the air conditioning all day, watch TV, and even eat meat. Such small things made my daughter so content, and I felt an inexplicable pang of sorrow in my heart. In my previous life, after Blake Lou gave the money to his elder brother's family, my daughter and I had to scrimp and save wherever we could. I couldn't even bear to let my daughter go to summer camp, only to find out later that Nora Meng took Lu Qiushu abroad for a study tour. Thinking of this, I immediately called the teacher and said my daughter would also be attending the summer camp. Mom, can I really go? My daughter blinked her eyes, looking at me in disbelief. Didn't you say before that it was too expensive and you couldn't bear to spend the money? I didn't explain much to my daughter, only saying that I no longer wanted to save money, since the money saved wouldn't be spent on us anyway. Seeing that she could go to summer camp, my daughter immediately cheered with joy. The next day, I packed my daughter's things and sent her off to summer camp. For a whole month, I'm going to make Blake Lou and Nora Meng pay back everything they owe me. You signed Xinyu up for summer camp. Where did you get the money? Blake Lou frowned when he found out I had spent 10,000 to enroll Xinyu in summer camp. My daughter is about to take the high school entrance exam, and the teacher said this summer camp is basically a golden ticket to lead a high school. Just by attending, she can get early admission. How can we not spend this money? And not everyone can join, only the top 10 students in the class get the chance. Even a scoundrel like Blake Lou knows he can't refuse when it comes to education. He sighed. You said yesterday you quit your job. Were you serious? Without income, how will our family survive? That bastard. Of course he's eyeing my salary. You usually eat at the company anyway. I'll make 3 meals a day for your sister-in-law, and we can just eat whatever. Our daughter isn't here. So where would the expenses even come from for our family? Given the situation at your sister-in-law's place right now, she's in no mood to cook. If the adults skip a meal, fine. But Choshu is growing. How can we not lend a hand? You cover the costs, I'll put in the effort. I'm sure your sister-in-law will pull through soon. Just bear with it for now. I bombarded him with all this moral pressure, leaving him speechless. He even stumbled a little as he walked out the door. Seeing me arrive at the house so early in the morning, Nora Meng's face was as long as a fiddle, while Lu Qiushu was overjoyed, because I never stopped him from watching TV, made him delicious food, and even shielded him when his mother scolded him. He treated me like a protective shield. Whenever he saw me, he would grin and call me auntie. Right in the middle of lunch, my mother-in-law called, angrily asking why I hadn't given her this month's living expenses yet. Lily Jiang, even 2,000 yuan a month has to be chased after. Aren't you ashamed? In my previous life, my in-laws would take 2,000 yuan from us every month, claiming it was for living expenses. Later, after Blake Liu gave his salary card to Nora Meng, I had to deliver takeout after work in the evenings just to come up with that 2,000 yuan. Looking back now, I must have been out of my mind in my past life. Why did I even give them the satisfaction? Thinking of this, I snapped, "Didn't Blake Liu tell you? He gave his salary card to sister-in-law. I'm taking care of her now and even quit my job. Where would I get money to give you? What? Why did you quit your job? If you quit, who's going to give me money? How dare you not give me money?" My mother-in-law was practically jumping with anger on the other end of the phone. While my father-in-law kept cursing non-stop, I hung up the phone directly. Hearing it was her mother-in-law calling, Nora Meng's lips trembled slightly. "What's wrong with your mother-in-law? I heard her demanding money from you." I pretended to be relaxed and comforted her. "It's nothing, sis. Since Blake Liu has given you his salary card, we definitely have no money left to give to your mother-in-law Tilda. I'm sure she'll understand." In a way, my mother-in-law isn't biased. She treats every daughter-in-law equally by disliking all of us. She doesn't like either me or my sister-in-law. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she picks a fight. Sure enough, before evening even arrived, my mother-in-law stormed into my sister-in-law's house. "Eldest daughter-in-law, I heard the second son gave you his salary card," Nora Meng stammered. "Yes, it was second uncle who insisted on giving it to me, not that I asked for it. When the eldest had an accident, the compensation was several 100,000. Considering you're raising his son, it's fine if you don't give us a single cent. How dare you take second brother's salary card? And even make his wife quit her job to take care of you. What kind of pampered princess are you? What sin has our Liu family committed to have both sons slaving away to serve you?" The door wasn't even closed, and my mother-in-law was wailing at the entrance, drawing a crowd of neighbors to watch the spectacle. I immediately called Blake Liu. "Come quick. Your mom is throwing a tantrum at your sister-in-law's place demanding money." Blake Liu hung up the phone as soon as he heard. No doubt rushing over immediately. This drama just keeps getting better and better. I could really use some sunflower seeds to snack on while watching. The mother-in-law wailed with such emotion that she knelt down before her sister-in-law. "If not, should I, your mother-in-law, also come over and serve you every day?" Nora Meng was so startled that she also knelt down. "Mom, please get up. I can't bear this." "What can't you bear? All the money of our Liu family is in your hands. What can't you bear?" The onlookers nearby began to murmur and comment among themselves. "Isn't that the family whose husband passed away before, and the younger brother and his wife came to take care of them? They actually took the compensation money and still kept the younger brother's salary card. How shameless can they be?" I heard the sister-in-law even quit her job to be her nanny, cooking 3 meals a day with different dishes. Seems like the sister-in-law is a decent person, busy all day long. By the time Blake Liu arrived, people around pointed and whispered, "It's him, that younger brother-in-law. TSK, giving money to his sister-in-law instead of his own mother." Blake Liu clearly heard it and quickly pulled his mother into the house, with Nora Meng following closely behind and shutting the door. As soon as we entered, Blake Liu lashed out at me. "Are you dead or what? Just standing there doing nothing. Couldn't you have stopped them?" Swallowing my disdain, I replied with feigned concern, "Between your mother and sister-in-law, I didn't know whose side to take." "Are you kidding? Why would I stop you? I wish I could add fuel to the fire." At that moment, my mother-in-law saw the food on the table and cried out, "You won't even give me 2,000 a month, yet you feast on lavish meals every day. You heartless people. What's the point of raising you?" Blake Liu shoved me and said, "Where's the money? Give mom 2,000. How would I have that kind of money? I don't even have a job right now. There's only 10,000 left in my account, and it's all gone to Shinua's summer camp. If you don't believe me, let's go to the bank. I don't have a single cent on me." As I spoke, I emptied the contents of my bag. "Mom, I really don't have any money." Blake Liu shot me a glare before turning to comfort his mother. "Mom, we really don't have money right now." Before he could finish, my mother-in-law slapped him on the shoulder. What do you mean no money? Didn't you give your salary card to your elder brother's wife? How could you be broke? Blake Lou grew frantic. Elder brother just passed away, and sister-in-law is struggling alone with the child. Mom, you're in the village with homegrown vegetables, chickens, and ducks. You have no expenses. Why are you fighting with sister-in-law over this money? Is she suffering while raising the child? The compensation for the eldest son's car accident was over 7 or 800,000, and it all went to her. She didn't give us a single cent. The mother-in-law wailed again. I see you've got no conscience at all. You only care about enjoying yourselves, feasting on delicacies. And don't give a damn about us old folks. Do you wish I were dead? The mother-in-law then grabbed Nora Meng. Today, you either give me the second son's salary card or spit out the eldest son's compensation money. Why should both my son's money go to you? Nora Meng, unable to bear the tugging any longer, slammed Blake Lou's bank card on the table. Fine, take the salary card. I never wanted it in the first place. Why are you all treating me like this? After saying this, she actually squatted on the ground and started crying, which broke Blake Lou's heart. Just as the mother-in-law was about to take the bank card, Blake Lou grabbed it and said, "The salary card is mine. I won't give it to my sister-in-law, and I won't give it to you either, Mom. From now on, I'll transfer 2,000 yuan to you every month. Don't come and harass my sister-in-law anymore." Once the mother-in-law got the money, she immediately stopped making a scene and turned to walk out the door. As if I care about coming to your city. Nothing here is worth anything. Pa. I walked her to the door, and as soon as we reached the entrance, my mother-in-law shot me a fierce glare and snapped, "Second daughter-in-law, I'm not trying to pick on you, but if you've got nothing to do, go find a job. Why work as someone else's maid? Is your sister-in-law some kind of pampered princess? Doesn't she have hands? Can't she cook? If she can't, then she should learn. I've heard that being a maid in the city pays really well these days. If you earn more, you should give me more." Nora Meng's expression grew increasingly grim, and Blake Lou couldn't take it anymore, quickly ushering his mother away. After her mother-in-law left, Nora Meng actually fainted, and Blake Lou and I rushed her to the hospital in a fluster. The doctor said there was nothing wrong with her. It might just be due to extreme emotional fluctuations, and she'd be fine after resting for a couple of days. But for some reason, Nora Meng became overly sensitive, refusing to leave the hospital, now complaining of a headache, then of nausea. Blake Lou watched on with heartache, urging me to take good care of his sister-in-law. "Is this your husband? He's so good to you." I went out to get food, and when I came back, I heard the other patients in the ward talking, and it's true, the way Blake Lou dotes on Nora Meng, anyone would think they're a couple. What's more, after others said this, neither of them denied it. Instead, they just exchanged a smile. Disgusting. I didn't disturb them, quickly took out my phone and snapped a photo. Then, pretending to know nothing, I pushed the door open and went in. "Honey, there was no chicken soup left in the cafeteria, so I just got whatever was available. You and sister-in-law will have to make do." Hearing my address, the ward immediately fell silent. "Is he your husband?" "Oh, so it's brother-in-law and sister-in-law. My apologies. I just mistook the relationship." Others began whispering among themselves. Such juicy gossip was bound to be twisted into who knows what behind their backs. Nora Meng immediately buried her face in embarrassment, while Blake Lou made an excuse to return to the office. So now they're not being ambiguous anymore. Nora Meng was hospitalized, so the responsibility of taking care of her son, Lu Qiushu, naturally fell on me. Every day, I took him shopping and dining out, making him call Blake Lou whenever money was needed. That Lu Qiushu wasn't exactly sensible either, managing to spend 1,000 a day. I didn't stop him. I wanted to see how long Blake Lou's generosity would last. Sure enough, in less than a week, Blake Lou called me. "Lily Jiang, where do you take Qiushu every day? How can you spend so much money?" I feigned surprise. He said these are all places his aunt usually takes him to play. I don't really know, but when the child says he wants to play, how can I refuse, especially since his father just passed away? What if he feels we're mistreating him? Even so, the spending is excessive. You should talk to him about it. You want to play the good guy and make me the bad one. Dream on. I stopped Lu Qiushu, who had just picked up a toy and was about to pay, telling him, "Your uncle said you've been buying too much stuff lately. No more purchases today." Tilda, I don't care. I want it. Mom said I can spend uncle's money however I like. Why won't you let me? Tilda, Lu Qiushu was both angry and jumping around, the sight of his flesh bouncing making my eyes ache. These past few days, I hadn't stopped him from buying things and playing around, so he'd been quite content. Suddenly being refused created too big a psychological gap for him. And he kept making a scene in the store. Later, he stomped off angrily straight to the hospital to find his mom. "Mom, Uncle won't let me buy the toy." Nora Meng was in the middle of some physiotherapy treatment, relaxing, when her suddenly appearing big son gave her a fright. "Oh dear, how much is it? If Uncle won't pay, Mom will." Nora Meng was just taking money out of her bag when Blake Liu walked in. Of course, I was the one who called him over. Qiushu spends money too recklessly. A little restraint would do him good. As soon as the words were spoken, Nora Meng's expression changed. She snapped, "I knew we orphans and widows would be bullied. Your elder brother hasn't been gone for more than a few days, and now we can't even buy a toy." Seeing Nora Meng's anger, Blake Liu lowered his voice. "He's already spent 5,000 yuan these past few days. What's the big deal about 5,000? You promised to give me your salary card before. And now you're reluctant to let our child spend 5,000. Nora Meng suddenly started her performance again, sobbing as she said, "If I had known, I would have followed your elder brother. Instead of staying here alone to suffer, I stood by, watching the two of them go back and forth with a cold smile. Blake Liu only earns a little over 10,000 a month. If it weren't for my job, we wouldn't be able to cover the household expenses at all." Nora Meng has always been accustomed to a life of luxury, and now with the compensation money from her elder brother, she spends without any restraint. I'd like to see just how well those two can live their lives. Nora Meng stayed in the hospital for a week, and the nurse came to collect the medical fees, 20,000. "Didn't the doctor say there was nothing seriously wrong with you? How could it cost so much?" Blake Liu exclaimed ungracefully when he received the bill. "What's all the fuss about? It's just 20,000 yuan, Nora Meng said dismissively. Her usual neck and shoulder therapy sessions cost 2,000 each, so she didn't think much of it. Blake Liu looked at me, and I shook my head. I haven't worked in a long time, and I don't have any money on me. He had no choice but to reluctantly swipe his card, wincing at the expense. We had just arrived home when Lu Qiushu came bouncing up to us. "Mom, I want to join this overseas study tour. We get to visit Harvard University. It's only 59,999. Sign me up. Please let me go." I deliberately let Lu Qiushu see that flyer. I knew he had always wanted to travel abroad, and the idea of going overseas under the guise of a study tour was right up his alley. "All right, my dear son, wherever you want to go, Mom supports you." Nora Meng took the flyer and fixed Blake Liu with an intense gaze. Blake Liu gasped and quickly waved his hands. "What study tour? It costs 60,000 yuan. Xinyua's summer camp is only 10,000 for a whole month." Hearing this, Lu Qiushu became unhappy. "Uncle, didn't you say before that I could ask you for anything I wanted? Why is it that now, no matter what I ask for, you won't give it to me? You adults are such a buzzkill." Nora Meng's expression also changed. "You won't even fulfill your nephew's simple wish. I wonder what your elder brother would think if he saw this from heaven." She then kicked both me and Blake Liu out, saying she was tired and wanted to rest. On the way back, Blake Liu remained silent, and I couldn't be bothered to engage with him either, earning just over 10,000 a month and still acting like a domineering CEO supporting others. How ridiculous. How could I have been so blind in my past life to exhaust myself for such a person? Just got home, and Blake Liu spoke up. "Lily, since the family's finances are tight now, how about you go out and look for a job?" As if it's the family's finances that are tight. It's your own that are strained, isn't it? I didn't show any reaction on my face and simply agreed. Yes, now that sister-in-law is out of the hospital and can take care of the child herself, it's time for me to find a job. I thought the 59,999 yuan overseas trip would scare Blake Liu, but he actually paid for it. Seeing Nora Meng's photos from abroad on my social media feed completely broke my heart. I messaged Blake Liu, "Your wife and Qiushu went abroad. Did you pay for this?" "Lily, my wife has had a hard time. Money can always be earned again." A wave of nausea rose from my stomach. It was utterly disgusting. He wouldn't spend 10,000 on his own daughter's summer camp, didn't care that his wife was working multiple jobs, yet readily gave 50 or 60,000 for his sister-in-law to go abroad. So he doesn't see me as a person, just a fool to be taken advantage of. Now I've truly lost all hope in Blakelu. I've decided to find a way out for myself and leave this family, otherwise I'll be stuck supporting Nora Meng's family for the rest of my life. But given the current situation, Blakelu definitely won't agree to divorce me. I need to come up with a way to make him initiate the divorce himself. I pretended to go out job hunting for a few days, stopped cleaning or cooking, and didn't pay the utility bills either. When I came home at night, the house was pitch black. Blakelu suddenly spoke up, startling me. "Where have you been? Didn't you notice the electricity was cut off? Look at the state of this place now. What am I going to do? I'm going to find a job. We can't even afford the electricity bill at home if I don't work. We'll all be left with nothing to eat." Seeing how sharply I spoke, Blakelu softened his tone. "Honey, I was just asking. You've always been the one to pay the electricity bill. So I don't know how to handle it. If you don't know how, then go learn. You were pretty good at sending your nephew abroad for a trip, weren't you?" I directly brought up the fact that Nora Meng spent $60,000 on her trip abroad, which only made Blakelu even more furious. "That's my money. I'll spend it however I want. What's it to you? Blakelu, we're already married. Don't you understand the concept of marital joint property? Other people's wives and children can spend $60,000 just like that, while your own household's electricity bill waits for your wife to pay it. You're really something." I used Nora Meng's trip abroad as an excuse to have a big fight with Blakelu. Some time later, I timed it to coincide with Nora Meng's follow-up hospital visit and went to the same hospital as her. Deliberately red-eyed, I bumped into her. "Ouch, who is it? Can't you watch where you're going?" Nora Meng fell to the ground from the collision, grimacing in pain. When she saw it was me, her face was filled with shock and impatience. "Lily, what are you doing here?" Clutching the forged test results in my hand, I cried without saying a word. Seeing this, Nora Meng snatched the test results from me. "Stomach cancer. Sister-in-law, how could you have such a serious illness?" I snatched back the test report and begged her, "Sister-in-law, please don't tell anyone, especially Blake. If he finds out, he'll definitely divorce me." Nora Meng hesitated for a moment before agreeing. "All right, I won't tell him." Then she pretended to comfort me for a while. I knew she would definitely tell Blakelu. That was exactly the outcome I wanted. In the evening, Blakelu surprisingly didn't work overtime and even had dinner with me. While eating, I pretended to feel nauseous and rushed to the bathroom. He anxiously asked outside, "Lily, what's wrong?" I came out pretending everything was fine. "It's nothing, just the hot weather lately, and the greasy food didn't sit well with me." Blakelu looked at me suspiciously. I put on a troubled expression, forcing myself to swallow the food. In his eyes, I must have been hiding an illness. For several days in a row, I deliberately timed it so that just as he entered the house, I would make retching sounds, then rush out of the bathroom in a fluster, pretending nothing had happened. "Lily, what's been going on with you lately? Do you need to go to the hospital?" Blakelu asked with concern. No, I've already been to the clinic. The doctor said just some digestive medicine will do." After several instances, Blakelu was clearly convinced that I had stomach cancer and was hiding it from him. The timing is almost ripe. The Heart Moon summer camp has ended, and I dragged Blakelu to look at school district houses. "Why suddenly think about buying a house?" Blakelu hesitated. "We don't have the money to buy one right now. I've already asked around. The down payment for buying a house now is very low. I'll borrow some from my family when the time comes. Anyway, we just need to use the school district house. Once Heart Moon is enrolled, we can sell the house again, and we'll only lose a bit on the loan interest." After speaking, I lowered my voice and pretended to mutter softly, "There's not much more I can do for my daughter," to Blakelu. These words carried an entirely different meaning. After a moment's thought, he softened his tone and said, "But we still have a mortgage on our current home. Wouldn't the down payment for a second home be even higher? As long as we get a fake divorce, wouldn't it count as a first home purchase? Then we could take advantage of the first home buyer benefits." "What, a fake divorce?" Blakelu's eyes darted back and forth, and I knew he was tempted. This trap was set specifically for him. After all, it's just a fake divorce. We can remarry once the house is bought. "Blake, for the sake of the child's education, you understand, right?" Blakelu hesitated. "Give me 2 days to think it over. Let me consider it carefully." The next day, Nora Meng came to the house and started fishing for information from me. "I heard you're looking for a school district house for Xinyu. Mind if I take a look too?" Sis, aren't you planning to buy a place too? I think these options could work for you. They'd make Choshu's schooling much easier later on. With that, I pulled out several sets of materials for her. These are all the listings I've gathered recently, with school districts and unit prices. Take a look. Nora Meng flipped through them absent-mindedly, murmuring, "So you're really house hunting? Aren't you going to tell Blake Lou about your illness then? Let's talk about it after the house is settled. Our family doesn't have much money anyway. Once Shinua's school district house is sorted out, my mind will be at ease. If we have the money then, we'll treat it. If not, I can leave without worries." Don't say such discouraging things. Nora Meng had found out everything she wanted to know and quickly made an excuse to leave. I guessed she would tell Blake Lou right away that I was truly ill, genuinely wanted to buy a school district house, and that the fake divorce was without any ulterior motives. Sure enough, when Blake Lou came back that evening, he told me he agreed to the fake divorce. The house we currently live in is under my name, so it was given to me. The second property we buy later will be under his name. There are no savings in the family, and there's not much to divide in terms of assets. Soon, we completed the divorce procedures. As we walked out of the civil affairs office, Blake Lou let out a deep sigh, as if he had finally gotten rid of me. I sneered coldly. The show was finally coming to an end. When I got home, Nora Meng and her precious son were actually sitting in the living room with their luggage. "Sister-in-law, what's going on?" Nora Meng acted like the lady of the house. "You and Blake Lou are divorced, so of course this house belongs to us now, finally. It's a painless divorce. You have no idea how long Blake and I have been waiting for this day. I've been thinking about how to make you leave, but I never expected you'd propose a fake divorce yourself. How stupid." I looked at Blake Lou, who panicked and quickly went to pull Nora Meng. "Why did you two come over all of a sudden? You said you were getting divorced today. Now that you're divorced, why can't I come over?" I flashed the property deed, interrupting the two entangled individuals. "Sister-in-law, no, Nora Meng, take a good look. The name on this property deed is mine. It's you who should get out." Nora Meng widened her eyes in disbelief, staring at Blake Lou. "You lied to me. Didn't you say you'd give me a home once the divorce was finalized?" "Exactly, that's what I said. Don't you have your late husband's compensation money? We can totally buy a house of our own." Blake Lou's shameless remark even shocked me. Playing both sides, what a disgrace. Nora Meng was so angry that she punched Blake Lou. "You actually have your eyes on my money." Blake Lou, in pain, stopped her. "Anyway, Lily Jiang won't live much longer. When the time comes, the house will go to my daughter, so it'll still be mine." No wonder he didn't object when I said the house would be mine. He was plotting this all along. I took out the medical record and threw it at their feet. "Are you talking about stomach cancer?" "Sorry. That's fake too, Tilda. I'm perfectly healthy and not sick at all, Tilda. Did you lie to me, Lily Jiang? You liar." Both of them lunged at me in anger but were stopped by security who arrived just in time. I produced the property deed and divorce certificate, proving my ownership, and had security escort these people out along with their luggage. Got divorced, the house is mine, the kids are mine, and the trash was kicked out. So satisfying. I mailed all the evidence of what Blake Lou and Nora Meng did, including photos and recordings, to Blake Lou's company, and he got fired. Blake Lou and Nora Meng never actually got married. Nora Meng couldn't bear to part with her money and refused to marry Blake Lou no matter what. He got so angry he beat her up and got arrested again. The in-laws, heartbroken for their son, went to Nora Meng's house and caused a huge scene, calling her shameless for seducing her brother-in-law. Now they're infamous in the area, watching their family in such a mess. I couldn't feel more delighted. Let them keep tearing each other apart like dogs.